Come on. Welcome back to the Bumper Breakfast. It's still a pleasure being here with you this Tuesday morning. Okay, it's Tuesday now. Tuesday morning, the 21st of August 2021. And of course, I did say that we're talking about the hope for a better Nigeria. On this part of the conversation, of course, Are and Olayinka did kickstart that conversation with me when they were talking about the young people and how they would embrace culture and all of that. But I have another guest in the studio this morning. He's a social commentator, he's a philanthropist, he's a businessman and a politician. I'm talking about Honorable Oseni Olajide Ahmed. Good to have you back on the Bumper Breakfast. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. How are you today?
I'm very well. Good to have you back here. The last time I had you here, I was pulling your legs and disturbing you a lot. I think I'm going to do a bit of that again this morning. But we're talking about Nigeria and the hope for a better Nigeria. And let me begin with the last conversation I had with Are and I had with Olayinka. And it had to do with what happened when the Emperor of Owu visited the Olu of Warri at the conversation at the coronation last week. It was strange to a lot of young people because I read the comments underneath of the post and I discovered that a lot of young people found it really difficult to understand why the Emperor of Owu, the former president of Nigeria, retired General Olusegun Obasanjo, knelt down to greet the Olu of Warri. It felt strange to young people generally. They were just feeling like, why must he kneel down? The guy is a 37-year-old man. You are an 80-something-year-old man. Where did the value, the culture of respecting tradition, where did you think it disappeared to in this current Nigeria that we have?
Anyway, respecting monarchical leadership has to do with the traditions of our land. It has nothing to do with you being a president or you being a former head of state before you could give an adequate respect to a traditional ruler. It's part of our culture.
Even though the traditional ruler is under the local government chairman now.
It is an assistance before the modern leadership that we are using in the country today. We have the kings, the bales, the high chiefs in existence before the colonial era. And our culture, irrespective of who you are. Yoruba will say, Oba Ulu Nile, and which means that they own the land. No matter what you are today on that land, you still under
their leadership. Despite the fact that there is a local government chairman on top of them. Yes. Isn't that a complexity that necessary? Because I see Nigerian youths respecting more of their political leaders than their traditional rulers.
Anyway, that has nothing to do with the issue of governance, modern governance, and traditional leadership are two parallel things. And the heart of refereeism is what brought the traditional rulers under
the local government. Okay.
In order to provide refereeism for them. Because in modern time, the modern leadership tend to manage the resources of the land.
The harbors don't collect all the shakole and all those things anymore.
And now, the remuneration for them come from the modern governance. So you are expecting there's no way, and you can't be paid from any other resources except the one allocated to your locality. And that is why you see them under the local government. But that does not take away their supremacy when it comes to traditional supremacy.
But
so
this is
you
where
have to come to their territory and you have to come to their palace. Even when you're a president, you still have to bow before them. As a traditional ruler.
So let me ask this question. You're a public person, you go out a lot. When you visit these public places, do you see the political leaders actually doing these things? Showing the example of the respect that should be accorded to this monarchy? Do you see them bowing, frustrating, as it were? Do you see it?
For those who understand the culture.
Aha, it comes to understanding the culture.
For those who understand the culture and how the culture works. In modern times, a lot of traditional rulers attain the seat of their forefathers by cutting corners, not following the traditional norms. And this made...
Are you trying to break it, people?
No, I'm not trying to do that, but I'm going to say the truth.
Are you saying that
the fact that they are no longer being respected is as a result of the fact that we've thrown away the modus operandi, or the method at which they are being put on the seat, on the throne. They've thrown them aside.
We're talking about a hope for a better Nigeria, and the topic is right there on the screen. You can also send your comments to us on the number that will be put right underneath of that comment. But one of the things that we would like to deal with this morning is our value system. You were trying to say that the fact that they cut corners is one of the reasons
to get to
why...
the throne of their forefathers.
To get to the throne of their forefathers is one of the reasons why...
Because nowadays, if I sleepy...
If I sleeping.
Because in those times,
yes,
we used to say, Okpele would tell us
who
the right
king,
direction with the king.
Who the king is. Isn't that a Lagos thing? Maybe the up country.
It's the culture of Yoruba land. And all of the places where
no, I'm saying this one
practiced.
where they've boycotted the culture looks as if it's a Lagos thing. It's not.
No, it's a Nigerian thing. You can even they can pick an emir from Lagos to go and be an emir in the north. Somebody from Lagos to go and without knowing the cultures and the tradition of what
somebody who didn't grow up among
them. Everything has been politicized. You need to understand what is happening, and when it comes to the traditional leadership. And that is why today, in the past, the traditional rulers will want to influence what the modern governance wants to do and tell them that this is not attainable in our land. But today, formerly, the traditional rulers give the ideas of the land. Now the modern governance give the ideas of their land to them.
And you see, whenever anything happens, they usually say that the king is supposed to be aware, the Baale is supposed to be aware. After all, but when the problems start, they go back to the traditional rulers. When the problems are brewing, they don't go to them first.
No, you see, the traditional rulers, irrespective of them losing their chances, their cultures into the modern governance, they still host the grassroots. They are still the closest leadership to the people.
Okay.
And to a certain extent, a lot of people in the grassroots still believe in their instructions. So when it is a political, when it has to do with anything that has to be the political activities, they could use that to influence the people at the grassroots because they're closer to that.
How then do we now have a better Nigeria when everything seems to like be interwoven, before we know what is happening, you really cannot trust the word of your king because you know that your king is under the leadership or the control of either the chairman of the local government or maybe it's the governor, as it were, because his salary could be withheld. And before you know what's happening, the kings don't tell the truth.
Because we're under the constitution of modern governance, which even controls the traditional kings, the traditional rulers.
Why then do we keep having traditional kings if we're going to keep having?
Because we can erase the culture. We still need to keep our culture.
As a people.
As a people.
Do you know, see the situation where we can resuscitate the values that come with those culture? I kept mentioning the fact that Eborovo knelt down before. And one of the things the young people who passed the comment said, they felt like it was looking for favor.
At what age will...
They said, oh, Kintolowo now.
No. At what age will President Olusegun Obasanjo, one of the father of our lands, one of the president of this country that's done greatly to this land, and with the level of his attainment and his age, will somebody in our times be looking at it as if the ex-president is looking for a favor? What other favor?
Maybe
It's
oil well.
not looking for a favor.
Maybe oil well
It's
is
looking,
worry.
no. It's looking for the grace of God towards eternity. Because eternal life is an important thing. After achieving everything, the apex position in a country is president.
And he has
Then
already been
after
there.
you've attained that, the next thing you should look up to is God. And how do you get that? You get that through your humility, your attitude towards your people, and how you embrace the culture.
This
So I think
is
that
one
is what
thing.
he's doing. He will never do that because he wants a favor.
But this is one thing that is now missing in today's young people, because if we're looking at the hope of a better Nigeria, we're looking at the young people. One of the picture stories of the Nation newspaper this morning showcases internet fraudsters. That's one business that young people are doing. The coincidence is the fact that if you go to the front page of the Guardian newspaper, these are another set of young people starting a new business called Plenty Oka, and they just got about $1.2 million seed funding. These are young people. These are young people. Two different pictures, Nation and then the Guardian. It's being said that the hope of any country is their youth. Today's Nigerian youth is not ready. That's the assumption for leadership. Is not ready for governance. Is not ready for change. Everybody wants to run away. Is that what you see when you communicate with young people?
Anyway, I have to tell you that opportunity the fast. The Nigerian youth do not have equal opportunities
In comparison
to themselves.
okay?
And we're brought up in different ways, different environment, and different opportunity towards education and livelihood. Our thinking will quite be different.
True.
And what we need to understand, the basic of youthful opportunity should be what? Opportunity for all children to be able to survive life an average way.
Opportunity to survive life in a country like Nigeria.
And where you can survive life, you look for every means to achieve your livelihood. This is a problem we're facing in a nation called Nigeria. We need to understand the problem everywhere. You're showing me two pictures. Those gang of fraudsters,
Yes.
internet fraudsters,
Yes.
and those gangs of people who were able to think on what to invest in. Because they got opportunity of better orientation and better upbringing sometimes.
Opportunity.
You understand? And anytime you walk on the street, probably myself trying to give an orientation to young people, what you understand from them is, do they have an opportunity to start the way you feel I should start? If I should go for business today, where can I get a funding to do that? After being a graduate, I'm not gainfully employed, I got no employment, then how did I get a finance to start a trade? Becomes a problem. Then if that is not possible, then at this age, how should I feed myself? And the best parent a poor parent can give to the children is education.
After
Going
being to
towards
school.
every struggle to get it for the children. And to every poor parent, after education, they believe their responsibility on you has come to an end.
You now begin to feed
So how
me.
do you feed yourself? How do you survive this terrain? Even when a hardworking man is hungry.
Not to talk of the youth that just came out of school.
Not to talk of the youth that just came out of school. When you see people, sometimes when I see people they tell me they're under the custody of any authority as a result of internet fraud or whatever kind of fraud. And sometimes when you go close to that and you try to interrogate them, you realize that they have a lot of talent. But when will this nation utilize the talent of this young generation of our country in a better and a positive way?
When is the question here?
But even in the biblical way, an idle hand is a devil workshop. It can't do any other solution.
So when you don't keep them busy, you should expect
Pay them to
go.
do something wrong.
It all comes back to you didn't create opportunities for them.
Everybody
You
knows
didn't keep them busy.
the implication of a crime. And nobody pray to see the aftermath effect of any crime. And nobody want to inculcate or involved in a crime. But where there is no option, you see this youth
Going
tend to see themselves that the end of everything is death. They don't mind. They are ready to die. They are ready to go to jail. In as much as at the period they're doing it, they are surviving their livelihood.
whose fault?
So the question again, like you asked, whose fault? And I tell you, in a country where all the resources are in the hand of the government, then the problem is governance.
It all comes back to the issue of governance. And if we will, despite the bad governance or irresponsible governance, advise young people today, I'd like you in 30 seconds to just talk about opportunities that are made available. It may not come from government, it may not come from religious organizations, but can we reorient these young people in just 1 minute?
Yes. We like every other Nigerians. The most important thing and the most thing we give to people is to tell them that be courageous, keep praying, because where we don't have resources to give them, what we tell them every time is pray for a better Nigeria. And when the country is good, there is an opportunity for you to become what you want to become.
Where?
And we pray, because this is a country that has a lot of good policies, but the implementation becomes a problem. So where the implementation becomes a problem, then how do we solve the problem of the youth and the problem of the nation at large? So what we keep doing is, we keep praying and trying our best. We keep seeing if we can do positive, keep doing positive things and see if you can achieve your goal. We understand that there is no forum, there is no provision for youths in time of trade financing and the rest. Where the government trying to open up a finance for investment in terms of agriculture and all the things that youth can involve, you realize that the people in the hands of these activities tend to use siphon the fund or use it for something else, which is not the main aim for which the policy is being set up. So how do the youth survive? So we keep praying for a better Nigeria.
Thank you so much to our guest this morning, Oseni Olajide Ahmed. It's been a pleasure having you once again on the Bumper Breakfast. We need to go. I'll see you again tomorrow morning. My name is Tomisin. You have yourself a beautiful day.